Welcome back to another Cavs video. We're going to be pulling a little bit of double duty in this one as I am a little bit late on the Pelicans reaction or recap, whatever you want to call it. I did have a bit of a family get together to go to. Felt like maybe I could have rushed out a video on the Pelicans game, but honestly, I just didn't feel like making a video that I felt was going to be rushed. So we're going to be just doing both games at once tonight, both the game against the Pelicans and tonight's game against the Bulls. And honestly, I don't feel too bad about missing out on giving the Pelicans game its own video at the time, because honestly, there's not a ton to recap with the Pelicans game, where the Cavs lose 123-104, the final of their 4-game homestand. Sam Merrill was definitely feeling the effects of a wrist injury he suffered late in the Jazz game, where he literally just could not make a shot, went 0 this was also the second game of a back-to-back. Didn't get Donovan Mitchell back in the lineup as he's still dealing officially with an illness. Dean Wade had a really solid game, 20 points, 9 rebounds. Craig Porter Jr. did reach double-digit assists, but for the Pelicans, the Cavs could not handle any part of Trey Murphy, who put up 28 points on 10 of 16 overall shooting. Also went 6 for 10 from beyond the arc, so he was on fire. The Cavs lost a game by 20 when it looked like, they were tired from playing the night before and missing a lot of their lineup. And, I never want to see the Cavs lose by 20. You never want to see a team that you root for lose by that much. But I don't feel like that loss was necessarily a cause for panic, or that this is going to spark some kind of huge downturn for the Cavs. It was just a need to regroup at that point, and that's how we get to tonight's game on the road against the Chicago Bulls, where the Cavs did get back to their winning ways, which is why the Cavs jacket is on. Final score of 109-95. It's a little funny that the Cavs have actually won 4 of their last 5 games now without Garland, Mobley, and now you can say Donovan Mitchell for a good stretch here. So I think a lot of that actually has to do with the schedule just easing up quite a bit since those injuries happened or were known about, with Mobley being out a little bit before that. But before those long-term injuries were known, the Cavs are having a bit of a tougher schedule. It's eased up a little bit. And for this game, you can add Karis LeVert and Sam Merrill to the injury list, as they did not get any time, both dealing with some injuries. So Cleveland dealing with some pain, both to their starting 5 and now also to some of their depth on the bench, which doesn't even include Ty Jerome, who's been MIA since the end of October, essentially. But something I will say about JB, what I've also said about Kevin Stefanski, as far as Bickerstaff goes, I do feel like the flack he gets has been well-deserved, well-earned, but I'm not quite sure if he's the coach that the Cavs are going to need to get where they're going to want to go this season. But I do feel like I need to give credit where credit is due. He has done a nice job of keeping this team focused and collected, even as the injuries have continued to pile on for the Cavs recently. And again, maybe this is a result of the schedule easing up, and if they were playing more legit teams, we'd see different results and we'd be singing a different tune. But the schedule is out of the Cavs' control. It's not on JB to make sure the Cavs are always playing tougher opponents. They just have to play whoever's in front of them, and tonight it was the Bulls in Chicago. So with 3 of their 5 starters still out, the 2 usual starters stepped up big in this one. One of them was Jarrett Allen with a 19-point, 17-rebound double-double. Also had 7 assists, so just 3 assists short of a triple-double, 1 steal and 1 block. 8 of those 17 rebounds were offensive rebounds for Jarrett Allen. And as a team, Cleveland tripled the offensive rebound output of the Chicago Bulls, 15-5. That's a big reason why the Cavs are able to outscore the Bulls in second chance points, 30-4. The Cavs creating opportunities for themselves, definitely playing a big role in their win here. And I think that Jarrett Allen has been playing really solid lately after a little bit of a rough stretch earlier on, where when Evan Mobley was first going out of games, I feel like Jarrett Allen has a bit of a learning curve to playing without Mobley beside him. But right now he's been playing excellent basketball. Has been playing the best he has been this season, in my opinion. The other starter in Max Strus, the other usual starter I should say, was a huge boon to the offense, especially in the second half, ending with 26 points, 9 of 22 overall shooting, 5 for 17 from beyond the arc. And those aren't the most efficient shooting numbers, obviously, but I felt like late in the third quarter and in that third quarter, when the Cavs really started to make their run and pour it on offensively, when they really needed those shots to fall, Max Strus came up big, was not afraid to be an offensive leader in this one. Also had 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, and 1 rebound in 41 minutes of game action. So Max Strus picking it up, definitely picking it up when he needed to the most and when the Cavs needed him to the most. Speaking of not being afraid, Craig Porter Jr., in my opinion, had his best game as a starter by far tonight. That mentality of always in attack mode. It never really changed, even when he had his first couple rough games as a starter. But in this one, we really saw the fruits of that labor tonight with 19 points on 8 of 14 shooting. I felt like that mid-range fade was working its magic in this one, even though they play in Orlando. Not too big of a deal. He wasn't too far off from a triple or double-double himself with 8 assists and 7 rebounds as well. He had a steal and a block contributing in this one too. So Craig Porter Jr. showing a pretty encouraging game as what he could ultimately become perhaps in this league one day. I know that when either Garland or Mitchell returns, that he'll probably be subjected back to the bench, where, obviously I don't think Craig Porter Jr. should take a starting spot on this team, even though I am pretty high on what he can do on the basketball court. I feel like being an off-the-bench spark plug is the perfect role for him this year with the Cavs, but I feel like we might be seeing some inklings of what Craig Porter Jr. could become in the NBA with games like that. Another rookie with a block tonight was Imani Bates, who absolutely smacked away a shot from the Bulls in the first quarter. It was definitely fun to see him get in the game and do something like that. Bates only got 9 minutes on the court, so didn't see too much of the floor. He did attempt 2 threes, made one of them in the second quarter. I feel like Isaac Okoro maybe wasn't terrible in this one, but the Bulls defensively were definitely able to sag off of him when the Cavs were on offense. Couldn't hit a 3, went 0 for 5. I feel like Isaac Okoro, in order for him to be truly as useful as he can be, especially as a starter, he needs to be a threat on the offense. When opposing defenses can know that they can essentially learn to lean off of him and not be able to pressure him at all on the perimeter, I feel like that can lead to defenses sagging and take away some of that ability he can have when he's driving and either scoring at the basket or finding guys while he's slashing through. But again, other than that, it wasn't a terrible game from Okoro by any means or anything. I would just like to see a bit more offensive output from him, especially shooting-wise, so the defenses will have to respect his game just a little bit more. Damian Jones, he got more minutes than usual with 12. He had 6 points, made 1 3-pointer, then airballed another in the corner. Didn't look, that was a bit of a rough shot there. I felt like Niang had a rough shooting night off the bench as well. 3 for 12 overall and 1 for 5 from 3-point range. Not the best showing, but again, it didn't necessarily cost them the win or anything. For the Bulls, Vucevic and DeRozan both had really solid outings. They didn't shoot well from outside as a team in general. They went 8 for 35, which is a 23% clip. Now, Cleveland didn't shoot great from outside the arc either. 12 for 45, about a 27% clip, but they did heat up late in that game where, late in the third quarter, they went on their run. And in the fourth quarter, I feel like the Bulls cut the lead down to 5, but then once that happened, Max Strus hit a couple threes, had a good offensive burst there, and that really helped establish helped the Cavs establish another big lead, and that was pretty much the game from there. So Cleveland, they'll have a few days off for Christmas. They return to action in Dallas to take on the Mavericks on Wednesday, which is the 27th. And that's going to do it for me in this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far into it, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and like to see more like it. I cover some other teams in Ohio. Maybe you'll like those videos as well. You can let me know in the comments below your thought about these past couple of games, if the Cavs can improve their record by even more after their short little Christmas break. But other than that, once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you at the next one.